everybody, welcome back to my channel. Obviously I forgot to do an intro for this video, but welcome to my very chaotic what we eat for dinner in a week. So I guess like a what's for dinner type of video. It's not necessarily chaotic, it's just I wasn't completely happy with this footage. It's a really long video and it's been really hard for me to edit. That's why I didn't post this last Wednesday. This was last Wednesday's video. I didn't have it ready and it's still really not ready, and this is currently Tuesday, the day before it's going up. All right, I'm getting ready right now to do the voiceover for this, and I'm hoping I can get some more of the footage cut out after I do the voiceover to see what I don't really need. But yeah, currently right now it's sitting at pretty much a 40-minute video and I'm just not happy with that. So I'm going to do this voiceover, see what I can cut out. Spoiler alert, one of these meals was horrible. I'll talk more about it when we get to it, but these meals are by no means healthy. The only reason I decided to do this particular week, was because this was the first week in a while we actually had cooked every single night. So it was literally a full week of cooking. So yeah, that's why I decided to do it. And I cooked some stuff that I hadn't cooked in a while, and so did my sister. Some of these things we haven't had in forever. So yeah, it's interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So let's go ahead and just jump into this because it's already going to be a long one. Okay, so our first meal, this is going to be cheddar, broccoli, potato, bacon soup. I got this recipe from Tiffany Beeston's channel. I've tried to find it to link, but the Pinterest post is no longer active. But I love this recipe. We usually make this during winter time when it's cold outside, and this particular week it was a little bit colder here. I don't follow exact measurements. I just put in however much I want to. So I'm chopping about 1/4 of an onion and a clove of garlic. And to make things easier on myself, I use my little mini food processor to chop and dice things. It's a lifesaver, especially with onion and garlic, because I hate the smell of it on my fingers. Now all you have to do is peel if you like your potatoes peeled. I like them peeled, and dice your potatoes up into cubes. Okay, so for the bacon, you are technically supposed to pan fry this and then use the leftover bacon grease to saute your onions and your garlic. That way it gives the soup a little bit more flavor. I was feeling particularly lazy this day, so I just cooked the bacon in the oven, and I'm going to spread the chopped onion and garlic on top so it can it can soften up in the oven with the bacon to get that really nice bacony flavor. So that's what I did. I've done that before when I was feeling lazy, and it works. Now you just throw everything into the crock pot. You will need enough broth. I use vegetable broth for mine. You can use chicken broth, whatever you feel like. You just need enough to cover everything that's in your crock pot. This usually takes, depending on how many potatoes we have, at least a full box of it, and then maybe a half. Then I'm also right here sprinkling in some thyme, mixing it up, and the bacon wasn't quite ready yet at that point, so now I'm adding it here. And then I want to say this went in for 4 hours on high. I want to say that's pretty accurate. And then 6 hours on low. I will say I personally like this soup putting it on at night and then letting it sit all night long. It just tastes so good. Everything breaks down. Everything's so nice and soft. That's really my favorite way to do this type of soup. But if you just want it like normal, 4 hours on high or 6 hours on low. our vegetables are tender, so I'm going to add in 2/3 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. And then about a cup of cheese. I want to say that's about the amount I use. Sometimes more. Just depends on how I feel that day. This day I think it was about a cup because we didn't have as many potatoes. And here's my bowl of soup. I really love this recipe. You can actually save some of the bacon to sprinkle on top and also sprinkle some extra cheese on top as well. Okay, so tonight I'm making meatloaf. And I like having cheddar biscuits with my meatloaf. I haven't done this in a very long time. I haven't made meatloaf in a while. We normally get the Aldi brand, but we didn't want to go to Aldi just for that. So I got these. These are the gluten-free ones because the one that we get from Aldi are their gluten-free. So we're going to put these in the oven. And while these are in the oven, I'm going to get the meatloaf ready. And then while the meatloaf's in the oven, at least this will be done, and then towards the end I will get the green beans in the microwave and we're gonna season those as well. So let's go ahead and start this. I'm just gonna follow the instructions on the back. These are very simple to make. This is, I'm pretty sure, exactly how you make the Aldi brand ones. So here that is. So let's get started. Okay, so here's everything that I use for my meatloaf. It's been a while since I've made this, and the past couple times I made it, I used like a pre-packaged seasoning, which I do not like. So I wanted to go back to making it however I wanted to again. I just don't remember what I put in it. So here's what we're doing. Garlic powder and onion powder, a little bit of parsley, some Italian seasoning, crackers for the breadcrumbs because I don't have breadcrumbs. Here's the beef. Everything that I'm using is going to be like half the amount of any recipes you'll find because I'm only using 1 pound of beef. I'm not using 2. Some milk, 1 egg. I don't think I put butter in it. I was kind of loosely following a Pinterest recipe. Tomato sauce to mix in and to put on the top. The brown sugars to put into the tomato sauce that goes on top. And an onion. I don't remember if I put onion in it. I don't like cooked onion, so I don't know if I'm going to do that. So yeah, this is what we got. Let's see how I feel. Put it all in a bowl, put it all together, and yeah. Mistake number 1, making your own meatloaf seasoning. So this is the meal that didn't turn out well. Like literally everything about this was just awful. When we first moved into this house, I was making meatloaf so much and I made my own seasoning and I could not remember what it was. And I can guarantee you this is not it. So everything I'm doing here, don't do it. I repeat, do not do it. I did make meatloaf the week after this and it turned out great. We tried a different brand of meatloaf seasoning and it actually tasted pretty good. It's just the HEB brand. And then for the biscuits, these gluten-free Red Lobster biscuits, they're a little dry and they were really hard to mix up when I was mixing the dough. But when I made it the week after this, I got the regular ones, not the gluten-free ones, and they were 1,000 times better. The green beans. The green beans just... they were a disaster. Everything in this just tasted unseasoned, and I felt like I seasoned everything quite well. For the green beans, I added like the extra garlic butter sauce from the Red Lobster biscuits. I added some extra stuff in there, and they just did not taste good. Nothing about this tasted good. But I did redeem myself the week after, and it was amazing. So I will say the week after this, I didn't make green beans again. I did oven roasted carrots with some ranch powder on them, ranch seasoning powder, and those are delicious. They're just really great. So literally everything I'm doing in this portion, don't do. I thought about cutting this out and refilming it. My sister told me not to. So here we go. Learn from my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do. And then at that end part right there, I realized I forgot to add in the tomato sauce into the meatloaf. I'm not saying that's why it tasted bad, but I think there were multiple factors, but that was probably one of them. And then for our sauce on top, I've always mixed in just a little bit of brown sugar with the tomato sauce, poured it on, and then put the meatloaf back in the oven for 10 minutes. That's just always how we've done it, so that's what I did. And then as you saw for the green beans, I just used some microwavable green beans. I even drained the water out of them when they got out of the microwave, and I feel like there was just so much water, and the green beans, everything was so gross. I can't get over this meal. And I think this is why I've been not wanting to edit the video, because I'm just traumatized from this night. And then here's me showing off my food, expecting it to taste amazing, and boy, was I disappointed. It looks good, didn't taste good. And then this is our Chipotle night is what we call it. We like to have some meatless meals throughout the week. So we do our own burrito bowls, very basic. So right now I'm just doing 2 cups of jasmine rice. I am rinsing it off. I'm very guilty of not doing this every time I make rice. It's just a pain. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to put it in a pot to boil with just a little bit of salt. So this was my sister's night to cook, but she doesn't do well with rice, so I'm doing that part. But she is just making the pico, and she's going to make some guacamole. So she's cutting up bell pepper, avocado, onion, tomatoes. She's going to use that little like pulled chop thing she's got right there to cut the tomatoes up. So yeah, that's what she's doing. She's got a couple things going on right there. rice, after you put it on to boil, and it starts boiling, you just want to cover it with your lid and just let the water kind of boil out of it. And then I don't take the lid off unless I'm going to quickly try it to make sure it's cooked all the way through. And then you just set it aside until you're ready to serve it. And then once you're ready to serve it, you want to add in your butter, salt, and pepper. And because we were doing Chipotle burrito bowls, I'm making cilantro lime rice. So I'm also adding a whole lime juiced and then some cilantro. And I know this doesn't seem like a lot of food, but it's just a very refreshing meal to have. Just the rice, the pico, some guacamole. She made herself some black beans. I don't really like black beans. But this Hill Country Fair quesadilla cheese that we get from H-E-B is what kind of makes this. It tastes kind of similar, in my opinion, to the cheese that they use at Chipotle. It's amazing. And then I also ate this with some Siete lime tortilla chips. Now, moving on to the next night. This night was very just not healthy. Neither one of us really wanted to cook, but this is kind of our lazy meal. This is just sausage and macaroni. She likes the Eckrich sausage that has like the little cheese chunks in it. She cooked the sausage, I cooked the macaroni. We kind of did a team effort on this night. It's a very simple meal, not healthy at all, but it's very good. And I don't know about y'all, but I've never liked Kraft macaroni. I think it just tastes disgusting. But this Annie's box macaroni, so good. I've tried so many different types of Annie's, and they've all been pretty good. I mean, I've tried their vegan one, I've tried their gluten-free shells, and everything I've tried from them has actually been amazing. So Annie's is where it's at. Kraft is just
Easy does it. Take a look at just how far you've come. Soak in enjoyment. Take a breath and rest while stress falls off. All the time in the world for pleasure as you find a rhythm.
Alright, so it's taco night. My sister's not to cook, but I make the taco seasoning. I just do garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, chili powder, paprika, and just a little dash of cayenne and a little bit of salt and pepper. That's what I do.
In the little things, in laughter, touch, or in the breeze.
And my sister's just making guacamole again for this night. This one turned out really good. She used the like yellow tomatoes from the tomatoes we buy, and it just was a little bit sweeter. It was pretty good.
Look for magic. Senses teach you what is sweet in life.
the beef is almost finished cooking. She's going to remove the excess grease with a paper towel and then just add maybe like a cup of water, I think, to the seasoning that I made and add that in and then cook it just a little longer until the water is cooked out. And I wasn't that hungry this night. I had a really late lunch. I don't think I ate lunch till like 4:30. But I wanted to try these Siete grain-free taco shells. They were pretty good. I didn't heat them up in the oven like it recommends, but I definitely think they taste better heated up in the oven. And then I just used some of that leftover quesadilla cheese, and this was a very plain taco. I don't like a lot of stuff on my tacos. And then the last meal for this week, we did loosely, kind of not loosely, follow this HelloFresh recipe, sweet chili beef and green bean bowls. So I've made this multiple times. I swapped out the beef for ground turkey. I'm just leaving the card up on for a while just so y'all can see how everything is. I have cut out a lot of stuff from this recipe. I think you're supposed to add like sugar and like stuff like that at the end of cooking the meat, but I do not do that. And I also know HelloFresh ingredients can be hard to find. This one does call for a soy glaze, and so what I use is the Kikkoman sweet soy glaze. I find this at my local grocery store. And then for the chili sauce, I just use Frank's Red Hot sweet chili sauce. It's really good. Now that the turkey is cooked, I'm just using a microwavable bag of green beans that I drained the water from, and then you just stir this in, and this is where you want to add your soy glaze and your chili sauce. I believe, I don't remember how much the recipe calls for, but I do about 3 tablespoons of each. I do add about a tablespoon of butter, and I think it honestly calls for more than that. I just felt like there was a lot of unnecessary stuff in this recipe, so when I started making it on my own, I cut back on a lot of the stuff. And then also, I don't use a lot of salt in this recipe because that soy glaze is very high in sodium, so it's not really necessary. The most salt I use in this is what I put in the rice. And this is going to be the last little clip of this video. Please leave me suggestions if y'all prefer these videos in a different kind of format, maybe easier for me to make them shorter. If you like this, let me know what you liked about it. I'd really love suggestions because I would like to do more of these videos. So yeah, just please let me know. But if you did like this one, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime that I post a video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!